Welcome to the Food Bloggers Table. Pull up a chair for authentic conversations and actionable advice from fellow food bloggers and industry experts. I'm your host, Jen, and I create custom food blogs designed to earn top-tier ad income. Join us now at the table as we break bread and build brands. Let's dive into the world of user-generated content, or UGC. I know this is something that you have found a lot of success with, and something that is a huge part of your financial vision for your business. Can you just unpack what it is and then how you use it in your business?
Absolutely. UGC is user-generated content. So brands need normal people videoing their product, giving a review, showing their product in a positive way that they then use for ads. So generally speaking, you're creating a video on behalf of a brand that they then share with their audience. You're not acting as an influencer always. Now, some influencers do UGC. I'm just talking about what I do. So I do have sponsored content as an influencer that I share online, my incredible brand partners that I post with and share with that sponsor my recipes. Those products I live and die by. I share about them. I use them in my home. I use them in my recipes. These are the brands that I align with and that I love partnering with to create influencer style recipes that are sponsored by products. Now, UGC is a whole separate wing of my business that kind of removes me out of the equation as far as my face or personal perspective to my audience no longer matters, because the brand is building rapport and creating ads for their audience. So I have a lot of brands that I work with that need both, where we like to do a sponsored recipe because they like to support my blog, but they also need content, recipes, video for them to share and push. UGC became a really large part of my business because I realized the need for it while working as an influencer in an influencer capacity, just doing sponsored posts and things. I realized quickly that, oh, you could probably really use more of this, not necessarily attached to me, but you could really use more of these quality photos and quality videos for your own platforms. And as I started pitching that to current brands, to new brands, it really was received very well. It was really well received. I started on this journey 2 years ago, taking my UGC and videography wing of my business full time. And surprisingly, all of the brands that I had brought on at the beginning, we're still doing work together, even now. I think building rapport and being somebody that they can trust, coming alongside marketing teams and helping them create their vision is one of the most incredible parts of my business, because it allows me to remove myself from the equation and just help them with my skills that through photography and videography. So you're essentially creating ads. Now that could be a voiceover, or a video of the product with a voiceover and a call to action. So, hi, shop now, buy this product. It could simply be a beautiful video of you creating a drink that they go on and share to their audience, and then they might push it as an ad. And yeah, so it's essentially removing yourself as an influencer and just creating videos, photos, and content in a more freelance capacity.
If somebody was interested in maybe diving into this, where would they even begin? Would you suggest starting with brands, waiting for brands to reach out to you? What would you suggest?
I would say UGC, you are definitely offering a service. So you need to be comfortable in a sales situation, creating a package or service that you then are comfortable enough selling to brands. I would say UGC is primarily for brands, unless you are a UGC influencer where you like to share your journey as a UGC influencer. That might be how brands could find you for sure. If you're like me and you just like to work behind the scenes, then it might be better for you to take a look in your pantry, take a look in your beauty closet, take a look in the products you already have in your house and think, wow, I could really sell this product because I use it every day. And so it might be of interest to you to create a UGC style video with that product and send it to that brand and say, hey, how does this sound? How does this look? Would this be useful to you? And then more than anything, building relationships is my biggest suggestion. We are being advertised to all day, every day. And when you are in a position where you need to sell a service, it's imperative that you walk into that email or DM with respect and with the view that you're there to help them, that they're not there to pay you. Yeah, I would say if you're looking into getting started, start with just a view of you really hoping to help the brand in that way.
Now, I know the next question is going to be, so how much do I pitch my products? Would you suggest pitching packages? Because I know you mentioned packages. Is that how you would suggest a person?
Here's the thing. That's what I did. I, again, work backwards with everything I do. I take my end goal and I'm like, okay, what don't I know? What do I need to do? My suggestion as far as pricing and things of that nature, start with what you want to make per month and work backwards from there. And you might quickly realize that if your goal is $10,000, $20,000 per month, you might only need to make 1, 2, or 3 packages that you need to sell to 1, 2, or 3 brands to hit your ultimate goal. And within those packages, you're going to want to cram as much in there that you think is going to be as helpful as possible. So you might want to add a bundle of videos, a bundle of photos. You might want to add the option for usage rights so the brands can use your videos or photos for ads. You never want to give that for free. I would say you really want to make sure that you understand licensing, usage, and have a really good understanding of the industry language and the terminology that's being used so you don't get steamrolled and so that you can actually make a livable wage. Because I think that a lot of brands might say, we'll send you product for a video. That's not a livable wage. I will say that when you're getting started, opportunities like that are great for building rapport and making connections and also building your portfolio. So maybe at first you haven't worked with any brands or you have no idea where to start. You might want to take a couple of those opportunities to learn and to grow and to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So personally, I started with my ideal money per month, like what I'd like to make per month as a full-time creator. And before I jumped in full-time into my business, I had to get really honest and really okay with looking at my bank accounts and looking at my spreadsheets and looking at my monthly goals and think, okay, if this is going to work, I have to make this.
Right.
Work backwards from there and figure out what exactly you need to include, what exactly would be worth it to you. And I say shove as much in there as possible that you can humanly do in 1 week. And then you have 3 or 4 brands that you work with and you kind of space it out per week and then deliver everything by the end of the month. And yeah.
Now, where you work with a few different brands, do you typically devote 1 week to a specific brand? Do you just batch out everything? Like, how do you approach your process?
Question. Yeah. So and again, I don't know if this is the correct way to do things because I think when you're in an industry that's brand new baby industry, which although we've had social media and we've had the internet for a long time, all of these industries are still brand new baby new. And I still find myself educating marketing teams all the time about it. So nothing I'm saying is concrete. This is just what is
in this moment, this is what has worked for you.
Yeah. So what has worked for me is I like to dedicate, I request that all of my briefs and products are sent and shipped prior to the month. And then that way I can start off the month ground running. And depending on the size of the scope of project, I have some brands that I need to dedicate a hard 12 hours day for 4 days for that entire week. And because it's a lot of videos, some of my brands are anywhere between 8 to 14 videos in their monthly package. So
wow.
It just depends. And I'm able to schedule out my month in that way. Some brands are like, oh, we just would 2 recipes and a few videos or whatever it is. Again, you're there to help them. You're there to help them. So it's whatever they need and just always delivering on time. So I like to kick off my month with having everything I need. And then everybody is under the assumption and understanding that I have that full month to create and deliver and everything is out the door by the end of the month. And so it works well for me me, especially the brands are able to strategize. For example, they're not going to send me their videos, products, recipes for that month that they need to post that month. They're planning
Right.
months in advance. And then once they have the deliverables, they're able to roll them out as needed. That's what works for me. And that's just what I've done.
That's so cool. And it's really interesting to see as a content creator yourself for your blog, how far in advance these brands are ahead of like seasonal content
Oh,
and very time
so
related
ahead.
content.
Some of them are so ahead. I was shooting Valentine's Day around Christmas time.
Wow.
It's so funny. My husband and my daughter and I, we are always joking and laughing that by the time the holiday comes around, we've already celebrated and gotten out of there. By the time Christmas rolls around, we're like, oh my gosh, Christmas again? Because I'm shooting Christmas in August. Sometimes it just works out that way where you have marketing agencies that are like very on top of their quarters and their scheduling. But then you have some that are just like, hey, for next month, we're doing Valentine's next month. So I get the opportunity to do Valentine's in January like a normal human being. And they share it the next month. But it really does depend. And that comes again with building rapport and building connections and really nurturing those relationships with the marketing teams.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Food Bloggers Table. I'm your host, Jennifer Holt, and I look forward to serving you in the next episode.